Hi everyone, this is Ofer. In the first video of this series, I've showed you how to install Kafka, and in the second video I showed you how to connect Kafka to ServiceNow using Stream Connect. In this video, we're going to create a secure connection to the Kafka server to be later used in mid-server replication of the messages. Here we're at the Kafka virtual machine, and I'm in the Kafka directory, and I'm just showing you here that Zookeeper is not active. So we'll create an SSL directory under the config directory, into which we will install the key store and the trust store that we'll create later on. So in order to create the key store and the trust store, I'm just going to go to the root directory. I'm going to make a demo directory and go into the demo directory. The procedure for creating the trust store and the key store are included in the description for this video. So initially we're generating a certificate authority using this command, and I'm going to provide some passphrase and confirm the passphrase. Now we're entering the information for this certificate authority, just putting in the country code, the state, the city, just gonna call the org name SN and the organizational unit SNCA. And then I'm just going to type in my name. So now I'm going to list to see the files that were created. And I can see that it created two files, one the certificate and one is the key, which we'll use later on. So the next step is to create the trust store. So we import the root certificate into the trust store, put in the certificate authority password, and confirming. So we just created the trust store by importing the certificate authority, cert. And we can see it here. Let's clear the page. And now we're going to create the key store. Before creating the key store, let's just grab the private IP of this Linux box. And it's 10.0.0.7. And now we're going to create the key store with the machine name and the private IP address. So when creating the key store, we'll need to assign password for the key store. We need to remember it, of course. And then enter similar information that we had to enter when creating the certificate authority. So now we can look at the directory and see that we have both the key store and the trust store. Now the key store does not have anything in it. So what we'll need to do is to create a certificate signing request, a CSR, using the key store password. So now that we've created the certificate request, we can see the file here. So the next step is to sign the request using the certificate authority keys. So we enter the certificate authority password. And now we import the root certificate to the new key store. Confirming. So the last step is to import the signed cert into the key store. Let's list the files in the directory, and we can see that we have the key store and the trust stores. Now we'll need to move the key store and the trust store into the directory that we've created earlier, the SSL directory that we've created earlier. We just moved it and we can see it in the directory. Now we'll use the trust store and the key store in the server properties file We'll make a few changes to the file, and again, the changes are documented in the description for this video. So we'll update the listeners to include the SSL information and the SSL port, and also the listeners. And then we have to make a few more changes to point to the SSL configuration. So if we scroll all the way to the bottom of this file, we can see that we're defining the key store location and password and the trust store location and password. And again, all this information is documented in the description for the video. So now we're going to create a test directory, test SSL directory, and go into the test SSL directory, and we'll test our secure connection. So we'll create a file with the client SSL properties, and we'll paste in the information for the key store and the trust store, as well as the information for the server, for the secure server. And now we can start, we'll save the information with the correct passwords, and we'll start producing messages and then consuming messages on the SSL ports. So we're going to start Zookeeper and Kafka, and confirming that both Zookeeper and Kafka are up and running. And now we'll produce messages on the secure port, which is 9093, using the client SSL properties. We'll enter a few messages, a couple of messages. Then exit out of it, and then we'll consume the messages. And we can see that we've received them. In the next video, I'll show you how to connect a Meet server to the Kafka server and replicate messages back to the instance.